out and preach the gospel and reach the lost people. There's so many lost people who need you to go out and reach them with the truth, but it's not happening. So many lost people who need you to go out and educate them about the genocide, educate them about the fact that people are created in the image of God. And that's why we have value. We have value because we're created in the image of God, but the world denies that. So you got to go out into the world to be a voice for those voiceless babies, to tell the world that they have value, to tell the world that they should love their children. But that's not happening. We got a lot of religious hypocrites.
Happening every week in the city of Tulsa, man. 25 babies die every week in the city of Tulsa at the abortion mill. You guys even know where it is? We need your help out there at the abortion mill, folks.
Why aren't you out there then?
They're not murdering children right now.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to show up? You're going to go out there?
Right?
Are you going to go out there? You're going to tell me to go out there?
Don't waste your breath.
Go out there, man.
Guys, you act like we're out here like trying to get some competing church organization. We're out here asking for your help to enact godliness and establish justice.
To do it too, didn't we?
Yeah, but we already do those things.
Oh, you haven't done those things.
How do you know, sir? Do you know anything about us? Do you know who we are? He suggested social media outreach and he suggested going to the abortion mill, but we already do all of that. And the abortion mill sidewalks remain empty still.
There's little babies who are scheduled for murder this week in the city of Tulsa. What are you going to do about that, folks?
What are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do about the fact that children are scheduled for death? They're scheduled for mass murder in the city of Tulsa, and they really need your voice. They need you to go out to that killing facility. At 32nd and Sheridan, the killing facility that murders around 25 children every week. Don't hide the truth, sir. Don't try to hide the truth.
Get their machine moving, keep it moving, keep that machine moving. Look at this guy trying to keep the machine moving. He doesn't want anybody to see the truth.
It's time to wake up, folks. These babies need your voice. You cannot peacefully coexist with genocide and say that you love God. What does God think about your praises and your prayers? If you're ignoring the genocide that's going on in your own city, if you're ignoring the orphans who are being mutilated to death, sucked into little pieces with a vacuum hose, destroyed by their own parents, abandoned by their society.
Murder babies in our city, my friend. The most you care about, all the opposition you have put forward to that is to cover up the sign rather than to oppose the
It's not necessarily your sign, it's the picture on your sign. That's
It's a picture of truth, sir. That they're murdering babies.
My wife,
that's what a
like
murdered baby
we
looks
have
like.
a pregnancy center for years, and it's awesome to hold 2-week-old babies.
Christ pregnancy centers can't solve the problem.
Do you understand this is a cultural problem? It's about cultural dehumanization of a certain people group.
See, you guys are forcing your opinion.
We do that.
You know where the abortion mill is. What do you mean who doesn't know about it, dude? That's exactly what we got.
Here's my thing. I've got everybody here agrees with you.
No, they don't.
You mean the people
No, they
in the
don't.
church,
They would be out at the killing facility if they did.
listen, we all have to go by the law. If you read the Bible,
I don't live here.
Listen.
I'm from out of state.
Would you listen a minute?
Yeah.
I'm the popo, okay? Listen.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody in the church goes by the Bible. And the Bible says you go by the law, but we try to change that law. Also,
no, you don't always go by the law.
But we don't believe in this.
False things. That's
we don't believe in this, and every conservative Christian is doing everything they can.
No,
to try and stop
no,
this
they're
stuff.
not. They would be shutting down the killing facility with thousands of people shutting it down with their bodies on Saturday morning when they're slaughtering children. That's what they would do.
We have the power.
Yeah, you have the power.
Right.
When people are being mass murdered, are you saying it is not appropriate to go and intervene physically? Are you serious?
Then why aren't you doing it?
Okay.
Because we don't have enough people to do that yet. But that's why we need to be here and tell people to do it.
You're not going to get any people here doing this.
Well, then we can expose them and they're evil, and we can show them to the world as an example of what not to do.
You're turning the people in the church who agree with you that abortion's bad off to whatever it is that you're trying to do.
I don't care if they agree with me that abortion is bad. I want them to act. I want to. No, my purpose here is not to persuade people to believe it's bad. I already know that people here likely believe it's bad. I want them to act to end the abortion holocaust, not just believe that it's wrong.
Go by our state and federal laws.
But they shouldn't, right?
But no,
they should be
should.
willing.
The Bible says they should.
No.
Jesus himself
No.
said that you will go by Caesar's law.
If the law said that it was okay to murder your family, are you saying that you would stand by and watch while the government came and murdered your family? Are you saying that?
No, that doesn't mean that you would do it. That doesn't. But it says that you may know somebody else is doing it and say it's wrong, but you can't do nothing to them for it. The Christian didn't come up and say, "Oh, hey, all of you people who stoned Stephen, remember when Stephen got stoned? Did the Christians go after them? No.
I'm talking about saving people from death. These babies are real people who need to be saved from death. Okay, so when the law says you can put people to death, that's wrong. So we say you can intervene and break the law when the law says you can put people to death. So again, if the law said it was okay to murder your family, you would stand by and say, "Oh, I can't do anything." The law is that my family can be murdered. I'm not going to intervene and save them. Would you really say that?
I agree with you on that point.
Okay, that's what we're talking about with the babies. That's what we're talking about with the babies.
That's my family.
Right, your family. So
That's my family.
Right, you're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself.
Well,
you're supposed to love these babies.
I don't know of any instance.
And you should intervene to save them from death.
But I don't know of any instance that you're talking about.
They're murdering children in Tulsa. They're murdering them in a killing facility. You should go there and arrest the people who are murdering them. Sir, you should arrest the people who are murdering the children. You should uphold the Constitution.
Where are they?
I've been there many times.
Where?
32nd and Sheridan, 6136 East 32nd Place, Tulsa Women's Clinic, right behind the Taco Bueno, at 32nd and Sheridan.
Yeah, I remember they had a.
Not had, have.
They
Present
had a protest there years ago. I remember that. I recall.
What we do. You know what that did? Nothing.
Well,
because there were like a few dozen people. What if 600 people from this church were out there next Saturday and shut it down? What if we all stood there with signs? How do you know? Can we try? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know?
It's been tried.
No, it hasn't.
Now, let me tell
Sir.
you,
When was that?
My 4-year-old granddaughter.
You're changing the subject right now.
No, I'm going to tell you something. My 4-year-old granddaughter and my 9-month-old granddaughter just went by here.
so he's only.
You think there's any way I'm going to let them see that?
They need to know they live in a Holocaust. Maybe they would care where you don't.
You guys are something else. How can you not
Sir,
do this in your
these
home
babies
state?
are dying.
I do.
35 a week in the city.
I do this in my home state. Why would you assume that I don't?
Why are you here? Because you're here.
Yeah,
I'm here to
because we love you.
Are they shutting them down in your state?
No, they're not.
Okay.
And I tell people to do the action that needs to be taken to do that. I tell people to do that in my state.
Well, I don't want you to talk this.
You should arrest the people who are murdering children.
I don't know about that, but he should take action commensurate with true love and righteousness.
Okay.
I mean, I think he has the authority under the law.
And maybe. Nobody would back him up's the problem. See, if he walked in and arrested the abortionist, then he would get arrested himself. We have to change the culture from the top, all through, because he can't go out on his own and do that. So I feel that.
Yeah.
That does not excuse, like his free time, for example. That does not excuse not raising your voice about Karen Tipler, who is a Tulsa police captain, runs security at the abortion mill on a daily basis. Karen Tipler does. She takes blood money all the time, Karen Tipler. She harasses us who preach the gospel and offer assistance to the women out there. Karen Tipler's out there screwing with us and protecting the practice of the abortion mill. And I encourage you to call her to repentance, to call her to love Jesus, and to follow Jesus Christ, because she's going to hell. She's got the blood of hundreds and hundreds of babies on her hands.
All right.
Karen Tipler does. It's a terrible thing.
So can we find a public area where you guys can still be
Public
seen?
right now.
I believe this is a public area.
Well, it's not. They own it out to the
Since the public signs
But
are
the
here.
police force should think about what they're going to do to oppose the child sacrifice center in this area, you know?
Karen Tipler, for
Like,
example.
as ministers, like, for justice.
You don't oppose this practice, but it happens 25 times a week in the city.
We're not going to discuss the situation.
Okay, I know it makes you uncomfortable. That's the problem.
No, the problem is my job is
these people uncomfortable.
we've
Good.
these
They need to be made
don't
uncomfortable
want you
because
on
they're
your
murdering
property.
babies.
We're not on, I mean, if we are on their
It's not their
property, we have
No, it's not.
a public
I paid for
easement.
those
We have
signs.
the right to be on a public
No,
easement.
you don't.
Sure.
Yes, we do.
Easement doesn't give you a right to it.
Sure it
You
does.
need
No,
to
it
move
does.
off
That's
of
the
their
definition
property,
of a public
right
easement.
up here where you
Because
can
it's taxpayer
see
funded
like,
property.
the other side of the
See that public sign? That's a public sign. That's on a public easement, sir. We have the right to be here.
Middle of the street on this side, and they own up.
Yeah, we can be.
On that side.
What about
Yes, we can.
What about the
Listen, they give an easement to the city.
And there's such a thing as private property. There's such a thing as a public easement being on private property, so the public can walk along the side of the road. Along public roads, the public needs to be.
doesn't allow you to be
They
there
don't
and
give
do
easements
this.
for somebody to make a
we
camp
rented that
or
property
somebody to
for
stand here
there's
and
utility
carry on.
easements and public
So
easements.
these people still
on
own this
to
property,
access,
even though the city has an
utility
easement,
stuff
not
in the
you.
back. And we
Well,
tried to
I'm
get a
part of
tow
the
truck
city.
back
No,
there.
no,
one
the
time
city,
to get
no,
it
the
done.
city to come and do their
And
business.
fund the
the
city.
Their
lady
business is to
complained,
put
and the
signs
legal
up to
told us,
control the
no, that's
traffic
not- that's
and
still
to put
private property,
services
they
up
can
for the other
control
people.
it.
That's
Is this
it.
a public road?
You don't have a right.
Okay, so that means there's a public easement along the public road.
No,
That doesn't give
means
you the
there's
right.
a public
Sure does.
roadway
That's
here.
what-
Yes, and the public needs to be able to walk along the road, right? Without being trespassed, right?
Actually, with no sidewalks on the hill, usually people walking the street, and then they're there.
But sometimes there's not a sidewalk, but people still need to walk alongside the side of the public road.
They don't want you on it. The city has a right to
Okay,
tell
I'm
you
not
you
arguing
can't come in the
with you, but
courthouse,
they want
you
you off
can't
their
come in the
property.
club, you can't come.
there's
Move
controlled
off the
access, sure,
property
but
to a
this is
public
not
place
controlled
where they
access.
Well, they're
can still be
controlling it
seen.
whenever they tell you.
So you're saying there's a public sign on their private property? Are you saying that? That doesn't make any sense. If that's their private property, why is there a public sign there?
I'm through arguing with you with the point. I said we need to move off their property. They don't want you to.
And what are you going to do if I don't?
Yeah. Are you
We're
going to
gonna
arrest
cite
or
you for
cite us if
trespassing.
we don't leave? That's the question.
If you don't move off their property, and they want you cited for whatever, yes. If they arrest you for trespassing, we'll cite you and we'll assign it
And
as
then you must
trespassing.
leave.
Okay, so what I'm asking, like, right here next to this sidewalk, you're telling
there's
if
no sidewalk.
if they tell guys that's a sidewalk.
That's a curb.
Anyway, if they, okay, the curb.
That's the
whatever.
edge of the street.
All right, it's curb. So next to this curb, if they tell us that we have to leave, you will arrest or cite us. Yes.
No, not if you go.
But if we refuse to comply,
Yeah,
will
if
you
you
arrest or
refuse, if
cite
you
us?
refuse to move off their property when they're telling you to move off their property, that's a violation of the law. And yes, we'll
Okay,
take
so
action.
you'll arrest or cite us.
We'll
All
need
right.
to, yes.
Now, what about on that side as well, under those power lines? Same thing.
So
if we go over there and they tell us to leave?
That's just like the tow truck thing I ran into, where we tried to get a tow truck along the power lines through a person's property to get to a car that had come off the highway, and they did not care for that. And city legal told us we could not unless they allowed us to, because that's their property. There's utilities can put utilities along there, but the property's still owned by them and they still control it. The property owner.
Okay.
And there's this thing called a public easement. You need to understand that. We have the right to stand on a public easement along a public roadway. Even if it's on private property, a public easement can be on private property.
Thing they'd had here, if that
That's
just
not
didn't own both
It is
sides
correct.
of the street, they'd have it
Okay,
made. They
thank
could
you.
get on one side of the street,
Move
but
over their property
you own both sides of the
to
street. So your
somewhere
ownership
that's
goes up between
You said that.
center line and the street.
So Corporal Smith, you
Smith,
said a
yes.
couple times, like if they tell us to leave, you'll arrest or cite us if we don't comply. So I would like to know for sure if you're going to arrest or cite us if we refuse to comply with the instructions. So because I don't want to hear ifs. I would just like to like a solid yes or no. You will arrest or cite us if we
The
don't.
question is, if they arrest you for trespassing, we will assist them.
So are they going to? Is the question. That's my question.
What? What's that?
Arrest them for trespassing.
Here's what I'll ask you to do. We've had protesters in the past, and they went out there on the other side of the service road, and they were fine. If you want to take your signs out there, go ahead.
That is owned by the public.
That's
That is
owned by the
public
public.
property.
That's open to
That's
the
not their
public.
property.
And this is open to the public also. This is called a public easement. This is called a public
This isn't
easement.
a public.
Yeah, it is. It's next to a public
It's a
road.
city easement, and it's a PSO easement, and it's all these other easements. But
Why-
you don't have a.
You know what P in PSO stands for? Public.
Yeah, that just means it's owned by the
Remember?
public. Okay.
PSO, Public Service of
They would
Oklahoma.
like you to move over there. We've had people over there before, and that's just fine. You're more than welcome to go over there. If your signs are still there, you still can put your message out.
Can you explain to me why there's a public sign on private property? So is it really private property? Can you prove to me that it's private property?
Yeah. We'll prove to you private property.
So you'll show me the plat. You'll show me the city plat.
Before you infringe on our rights, could you go ahead and prove it now? No. So it's just a naked exercise of power, basically, because you have the guns that we don't, and there's more of you.
I'm not going to argue anything with you.
Because you
You're
can't,
asking
sir.
me.
That's why people say that.
Then we need to see some ID from you guys.
I'm leaving. I'll leave.
Hey, you're going the wrong way.
Down there,
This is a public road.
but you can't stand in the middle of the road.
I'm not going to stand in the middle of the road.